Hey guys, welcome back to Kelly's Creations. So glad you're here. We're going to have so much fun. If you haven't and you like what you see, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and please share with your friends. You guys know I love thrift flips. Oh my gosh. So these candlesticks are absolutely gorgeous. Back in the day, home interiors was such a popular they would have home interiors parties. It was so popular. So many people had home interior decor in their home. And I was very surprised how easy this came apart. Because, of course, the beautiful floral center I'm going to be saving. Now, the rest of it is going to be turned into something totally different. And first I start off by using Antique Wax by Waverly. And these are the 4 pieces that I'm going to put that wax on. Now, this piece in my hand was the top of the candlestick. And I started off by putting the wax on, and then I was doing the backside too, but there really wasn't any need to do that. So the other 3 is just the front. And we want to get these looking old and kind of rusted looking, like they've been around forever. Even though they have, they didn't have that patina on them. They were very shiny brass. And I absolutely love these pieces. I want to put them in my home, but they need to be more my style. So this is a great way of just making something look old. I took a baby wipe after I was done and just patted. Pat, 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 pat. That removes some of that wax. And if you pat too much, add more wax. So once these were dry, it was time to start assembling them back together. There was a couple nuts that I put on. Well, actually, there was just one nut that I put on. Then you fed it through, and then you put the ceramic floral piece back on, and you kind of have to hold it. So if you find any of these at thrift stores, this is possible. It's a little difficult though, because you have to hold it in place and you have to keep maneuvering it so enough is coming out the top. But as soon as you put that back on, boom, the pole goes right back down to the table. So yeah, it's like a little frustrating a little bit trying to get this back together. And then there's another nut that goes on the top and that holds everything in place. So at first I thought I could use this glass bowl from Dollar Tree as a cloche, but it was the same size as the base. So I changed it up a little bit and I had this bigger bowl from the Dollar Tree, and I thought that would be great. Put that on top. This can be used to put florals in or decorations. Easter's coming up. Put some greenery. So I used super glue, and it still was too wobbly for me. So what I did was I took my glue gun, and you can see that ridge. I put hot glue around that ridge and super glue on top of that. And that held this in place. Right now, I actually just put a succulent in here, and it's so stinking cute. Oh my goodness. Like I said, Easter's coming. You could put grass and Easter eggs in here. So many different ways to decorate this. So now we're going to do the cloche. Now, I was bound and determined to make this work. But like I said, that piece it was the same size as the glass, so it was not going to sit there. So I had these wooden discs I got off of Amazon, and I just drilled a hole in the center of that wood. Now that's going to be my base. So now I'm going to assemble again, putting that nut back on. And like I said, you just gotta play around with it so that the height is right. Since I'm putting a fat wood piece on it, I kind of wanted that nut pretty much at the base of the pole. That way a lot would feed through so that I could add that extra wooden piece, which is a lot thicker than the brass one that was originally on there. So I put that on. I put the nut on top to secure all into place. And voila, now I have a base for my cloche. So excited. I absolutely love this. Now, it was a little too white. little too new. So I took that antiquing wax, I went over that, and I also went over the wood just to darken it up a little bit, since this is supposed to be like a vintage, kind of rustic piece. So I thought that the brass piece that should have been on the base would be cool to use as a top. So I added some super glue to the back side of it, and I super glued it along with just a little bit of hot glue so it would stay in place to the top of that glass bowl. Now we're gonna build a little topper. So that piece that you see is actually what the candle, it was the top of the base for the candlestick. And that's what the candle would have went in. So I thought if I flip that upside down, I grabbed this vintage looking bead that I had, and I'm gonna assemble this to make my topper for the cloche. So I don't know why I used hot glue, but at first I put hot glue down. I ended up super gluing it after that because that wasn't working. So I glued my bead to the candle holder and then I used super glue and I glued the candle holder to that base, the brass base, and that's my topper. I didn't like the way the bead was sitting. So this little metal round piece also was part of this ensemble. So what I did was I glued that to the candle topper and then I super glued my bead down into that. And I liked that so much better. Tell me what you think. This is, oh my gosh, I absolutely love this now. I didn't like it with of course, with the shiny brass. That's just not my style. I did end up taking some more of that wax and went around the whole top so that all of it would match, and went on the bead and the candle holder, everything. Gave it a nice wax in, used a baby wipe just like I did with the base. And I put some greenery and I put these cute little Dove salt and pepper shakers that I had. And I think this piece is so unique and different. I absolutely love it. And oh my gosh, I'm just in love. Tell me what you think. Is there anything you would have done different? And do you like this? I would love to hear your comments. Okay, thrift flip number 2. This pottery bowl, or yeah, what is it? It's a flower vase, I guess. I don't know, it can be anything really. Um, I loved the shape of this. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to use Waverly chalk paint in white, and we are going to do the baking soda trick, where you add baking soda and paint and mix it up, okay? If you do equal amounts, you're going to get a lot of texture. If you don't like a lot of texture, add less baking soda. If you add too much baking soda, you can always add more paint. So you're going to want to mix this thoroughly. And originally this piece was going to be white, but then I love this Tuscan teal in apple barrel. So I thought, okay, we're going to add some pop of color and add a little bit of this Tuscan teal to my mixture until I get a really pretty light teal color. And oh my gosh, this color is just absolutely gorgeous. Now taking this textured paint, I'm going to do 2 coats. The first coat, I'm trying to do my paint strokes all go in the same direction, because you can really see the lines when you use this textured paint. I wanted all my lines going in the same direction. Now this, I'm going to call it a vase. This vase has that little circle detail going around the center, and it just pops through. Look at that. You could see the texture by adding the baking soda. It turns a ceramic vase into a clay pot. Oh my gosh. That beautiful light blue is just so stinking cute. I absolutely love that color, and I have so much white, brown, and wood. I need a pop of color in my life. So next, um, I'm going blank as usual. The next application of paint is dabbing. I'm going to just do the top above the circles, and I'm going to put the paint on, just dabbing and dabbing and dabbing my paintbrush. This is going to give that top part a different textured look than the bottom. Then I'm going to come in with my stipple brush that had a little bit of that wax still on it, dip it in that white paint. I'm going to go around those circles. I did not clean my brush on purpose because I wanted the wax with that brown to mix in with that white and give it a more like vintage, older look. You don't, of course, use a different brush if you just want white. And also, I think that a lot of people are using white wax, which would be really good too. You just put it on and then rub it back off, and the white wax will go right into those crevices and fill it in nicely. Dabbing it on, I just didn't like the way it was turning out, so I ended up kind of smoothing it around in the circles. I came in with my Distress ink and I just patted over it again. I like that brown on here with the white. You can skip this step if you don't like that, but I wanted these circles on this pot to really stand out. And there it is. What a difference. Oh my gosh. I put this in my bedroom. I'm absolutely loving this pot. Project number 3. You hardly ever go to the thrift store without seeing candlesticks. In a recent trip to Florida, I found these 2 beautiful candlesticks. I love the shape of these. Not so much that copper color. So we're going to fix that. Using that same textured blue paint that I made for that vase, I am going to just put, I think I just did 1 coat actually. It covered so well. I gave each of these candlesticks 1 coat of that textured paint. Now, I did not distress afterwards. I probably could have because the copper would have came through, but I was going for more spring look with these, so I kind of didn't want it being patinaed. So I bought these transfers off of Amazon. I'll have the link below if you're interested. And such beautiful florals. Oh my gosh. I absolutely love transfers. So I cut out the flower that I thought would fit this tall candlestick, and I transferred it onto the candlestick. All you have to do is peel off the back, put the image where you would like it to be, and then I used a craft stick and kind of just kept rubbing over it. You can kind of tell when it has transferred onto your item because it lifts off that paper. If for some reason you lift the paper up and the image is still on the paper, just set it back down, go over it again until it lifts up. So beautiful. Oh my goodness. Now the smaller one, I used a different flowered image, but did the same thing. I set it on there where I wanted it to be. I rubbed it on with my craft stick and then removed that paper. Now you don't have to use these transfers exactly the way they are on the sheet. You can cut stems off of them. You can add stems. You can cut flowers off. Like any way you want to add this. I could have had flowers going all the way around the candle if I wanted it. That's the great thing about transfers. Like, you don't have to necessarily do exactly how it is. You can cut it up and you can make your own floral pattern out of it. Now, here's both of them together. It's so springy. Oh my goodness. Love the blue, love the flowers. They had these cute little butterflies on the sheet, so I thought it would be cute to add a butterfly to the base of each candlestick because I love butterflies. So I thought that would be a nice little touch as well. I like the little butterflies. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about these candlesticks? I think they're so beautiful and they'll be perfect for spring. So another thing I found in Florida was these two balls. And they're gold and kind of beige colored. And I knew I liked the shape, I liked the texture of them, but I didn't necessarily like the color. So of course I went to my Waverly in white and I gave these a nice coat of white paint. The best thing about all of these projects I'm showing you is when you want to change it, all you need to do is paint it a different color. So we're going to do something fun with these balls. I grabbed a whole bunch of spring colors, and I saw this on TikTok, but I don't think I did it right. Well, I know I didn't do it right because it didn't turn out like a flower. I think you're supposed to put it all in the center. Like I kept going around in swirls. I should have just did a glob of blue and then put the yellow inside the blue, not swirling it like I did. So I did this wrong, but it still came out super cute. I added my blue and my yellow and pink, and then I added white. And like I said, you're supposed to just do a glob of paint and then put the paint inside, 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 and keep doing. You're not supposed to go around. So that's where I messed up. So, of course, you know, when you mess up, you have to roll with the punches, and that's what I did. So once I had all of my paint on the ball, thinking I was going to be making a flower, didn't quite turn out that way. So I have all my paint. Now I grabbed a freezer bag and I put water in it. And I got the air out, so I'm going to kind of scrunch up the top, and I'm going to use that freezer bag to go over this paint. Like I said, if I had done it right, this should be a beautiful flower. But didn't turn out that way. What I got was all the colors mixing together and no flower. So I'm not wasting all the paint I have on the balls. So what I decided to do was just have some fun, get a little dirty, and I took the bag and I just started going around the whole ball, dabbing, because once you dab in the paint, then you have that paint on the bag. And then I just kept turning the balls and I kept dabbing, dabbing, dabbing until the balls were totally covered in these pretty pastel colors. You can tell by my hands, it was messy, but actually it was so much fun. Oh my gosh. It was turning out a little bit too green, so I just added a little bit more pink and I dabbed it again. I added a little white too, and I dabbed it again, and just to put a little more pink in there. And here's the finished product. Oh my gosh. If you want to bring some pop of color, do this technique because it's a lot of fun. This is my spring thrift flip video, and I love thrift shopping. I love turning things I find into different items. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll be here next Tuesday with a new video. Have a blessed and wonderful week, everybody. I love y'all. Bye.